Greetings everyone, so Fandancer98 back at it again with another reaction to What If Goku was an Elite Saiyan? Welcome to the next day of Anime Week. I know we did this back on the first day on Monday, but hey, it's been a few days. I figured might as well get into it and see where the story keeps going. This is getting good, especially with how they're going to pull off possibly the Zenkai boost coming forward along with the potential boost. So we'll see what they do for this whole thing. Let's get into it and see how it goes.
Han and Krillin and also Raditz get taken to go to Guru. With Raditz, both people just latch onto him and he is able to fly far faster than both Dende and Krillin. However, he is still keeping himself suppressed to not be detected by the Frieza soldiers or even Frieza himself. His power level now is somewhere around 90,000 to 100,000. Once he arrives at the place, they receive the 1-star Dragon Ball and Krillin gets his potential unlocked in return. The only problem is Guru senses evil in Raditz's heart. All Raditz does is explains that he needs all the extra power to defeat Frieza and free Namek. Guru, even clearly sensing Raditz's evil heart, can somewhat sense this to be true. At the end of the day, they need all the power they can get. Granting him a potential unlock, the new power he has is extraordinary. His new power level jumps up from his previous 300,000 all the way to 550,000. Krillin's rises to 25,000, rivaling the likes of even Vegeta. Since he hasn't had the fight with Zarbon, his power has risen any higher, so it is stuck at the canon 24,000 from After Earth. Returning to the ship, someone follows after them both, Vegeta. Since Raditz is suppressing his power quite significantly, Vegeta is confident. He isn't suppressing it too much though, because that means that they fly faster. Arriving, Vegeta lands directly behind them. Raditz, I'm here to take the Dragon Ball and also revenge. Let me show you the power I have received, Vegeta shouts, powering up proudly. His power reaches his limit and Raditz just chuckles upon sensing this. They have taught Raditz ki control so he can do it. Vegeta is just talented as we know and learned it after seeing it happen just once. Get it, Baldy, I'm sure you can handle it, Raditz says, turning away and chucking the Dragon Ball into the adjacent cave. Krillin makes his stance and unleashes his full power, scaring Vegeta at how strong the Earthling has become. In a flash, Krillin zooms off towards Vegeta and punches him in the face. Swiftly, the prince backs away, then launches him upwards with a kick. As Krillin is held upwards, Vegeta catches up to him and throws 2 punches that are blocked. Suddenly, both fighters fall into a power struggle and seem equal. However, Krillin is slowly able to push Vegeta back and kick him back further.
Right, because he hasn't had his fight with Qui, sometimes he didn't get that slight boost from fighting along with not fighting Dodoria and Zarbon, which means he's still at around the 24,000, which means he's just below Krillin.
Could a simple human be equaling me out? No, this simply can't be possible, he thinks to himself, bubbling up with rage and fury. To try and mend his breaking ego, he flies towards Krillin and tries to overpower him with brute force alone. However, Krillin just grows his destructo disc and spin throws it at the Saiyan. Swiftly, he is forced to flip over, but the disc slashes across his torso deeply. As this happens, Krillin lands a double dropkick to force his opponent down into the adjacent waters. The deep wound leaves Vegeta very weak and almost unable to swim out of the water. Luckily, he is able to swim up and escape weakly, barely holding his wound shut with his hurt arm. Krillin lands back ahead of the ship and then returns inside the little cave base that they have set up. Vegeta is then forced to heal himself up, and from this deep injury his power level raises up to 32,000. I will kill that Earthling if it's the last thing I do, he shouts in his mind, stuck in the healing chamber. The chamber he has decided to heal in is actually in Frieza's ship, so he manages to escape, steal Frieza's Dragon Balls and fly out the ship like in the canon continuity. This also...
True, after all, there's no Zarbon and Dodoria to watch over him, especially since Krillin and Gohan took down all of Frieza's other soldiers during that village fight.
It means Gohan is able to successfully steal the 4-star Dragon Ball from Vegeta and return to the base with such Dragon Ball, adding to their collection. However, the Ginyu Force are now closing in on planet Namek. Following this, the rest of the fighters head to Guru's planet to unlock their potential. They do so swiftly and just before the Ginyu Force make their arrival. Goku's power level has risen to 500,000 and Gohan's has risen tremendously. Now his power level has reached 600,000. His potential is insane, and since he is an elite Saiyan, that potential has risen up even further. This now makes him the strongest Saiyan and fighter the Earth has. Tien's is also at 30,000. Returning to their base, they then all send a key signal.
Dang, so Tien's just below Vegeta now. He's probably not going to be happy about that.
Given off from beside them, the Ginyu Force. Once they see the fighters, they turn to head towards them instead. You think they're strong? Tien asks, being the furthest from Goku and Gohan, who are extremely fast. No chance. I can sense it and I know I'm stronger than every single one of them, Goku says confidently, landing ahead of the Ginyu Force who make their very odd pose. What are you doing? Goku asks, very confused and slightly bewildered by what the 5 warriors have just performed. We are the Ginyu Force, the strongest men under Frieza, and we are here to kill you as you are threats to Frieza's quest for immortality, Ginyu explained, stepping forward and clicking at his scouter. Ah, you have a power level of 70,000. I must admit you are strong, but you aren't strong enough to handle us all, Ginyu claims, making a fighting stance. How could you be so proud to say you are under someone? Also, don't believe everything that Scouter tells you, Goku states, beginning his power up. The ground below him shakes as he removes his suppression and brings out his true strength. His aura becomes large and powerful and he shatters every single one of their scouters. So that will conclude the second part of What If Goku was an Elite Saiyan. Tell me something you liked about the video, something what if Goku was an Elite Saiyan, unsubscribe when you want. I just want to thank you all guys. He zooms forward and stabs his
I had cocaine in school.
In a flash, he zooms forward and stabs his hand directly through Ginyu's chest, killing him. His body just drops as he is left devoid of life, and Goku blasts away Goldo with one ki blast. Next, he dodges every attack that comes from Burton and blasts open his stomach with a full force kick.
Ouch.
Left with a grave injury, Goku shoots an energy wave at his head and kills him. Next, Goku dodges attacks from Jace and Raccoon with ease and seems to appear behind them. In one go, he shoots 2 individual ki blasts through their chests and kills them both. Unlike in the canon, Goku doesn't really have that much of a resistance to killing people if he needs to. With all of the Ginyu Force gone just like that, the 3 fighters just return to their base as if nothing even happened. Once this happens, Vegeta flies right back to the Saiyans in human space to steal the rest of their Dragon Balls. While flying, he just sees the entire Ginyu Force left in a closed pile, dead. What in the world? They killed the entire Ginyu Force with such ease. How would they have done something like this? That Earthling doesn't even have enough power to face me now. Could Raditz be a Super Saiyan? Vegeta asks in confusion. With the Dragon Balls apart from each other, Purunga just isn't summoned right now. Vegeta does arrive at their base, then arrogantly shoots several ki blasts at it. The rock surrounding the little capsule home they got from Bulma starts getting exposed as the surrounding rock is being destroyed. Swiftly, Raditz escapes from the home and faces Vegeta with his unsuppressed power. This key signature floods Vegeta's entire body with fear and makes him question how he was able to gain so much power so quickly. Even with this, Vegeta cannot accept surrendering and flies right at Raditz to try and fight him. He throws several attacks, but Raditz dodges every single one and just sidesteps 10 meters away from him. Vegeta, where are the rest of the Dragon Balls? We must complete our wish, and if you don't tell us, we will not leave you alive, Raditz claims, raising his hand and throwing a ki blast in it. Vegeta weighs up the choices and makes a rational choice to just give the knowledge away. If he didn't, it was very plausible that Raditz would have just killed him right there and then. Well, to him at least.
Accurate.
Once Vegeta agrees to tell him where the Dragon Balls are, Raditz calls on everyone to follow, and they do. Dende tags along because he is needed to summon Purunga. They all arrive at the Dragon Balls and Dende summons Purunga. Once he is summoned, he states that he is able to grant 3 wishes, so the first wish is to revive Piccolo. To help with the fight, Piccolo also is transported to Namek, and with the last wish, it is up for grabs. Raditz knows Vegeta wants immortality and can't think of a reason to go against this, however someone is felt approaching them fast, Frieza. The group try to think of a wish quickly and end up making their choice less than a minute before Frieza arrives. However, Guru dies and Purunga also disappears as the Dragon Balls are reduced to nothing but grey stones. Frieza lands ahead of the fighters and wonders where Purunga went. Seeing that the Dragon Balls are just grey balls now, he is furious. How dare you follow my plan to be immortal? You will all pay with your lives, Frieza shouts. Once his scouter detects their power levels, he is stunned. Seeing their extremely high battle powers, he just shatters the device and claims that it's broken. Finally showing off his own.
If only he knew. With the changes from the canon timeline, he has no trouble against Tien and Krillin and Vegeta, but against Raditz, Goku, and Gohan's current, he's gonna have some trouble.
Aura, he flies towards the Saiyans and is stopped by Raditz. The clash between them releases high amounts of power, and Raditz is more than happy to find out that his pushing power exceeds that of Frieza's. Next, Raditz kicks at the tyrant's stomach, then Swivel kicks him in the jaw. As he flies back, he pulls up his arms and launches his signature double Sunday attack. Such attack beams directly at the tyrant and engulfs him in the heat of the attack. Once the smoke thins out, Frieza is revealed with cracked armor and some bruises across his body. He also has a pant to his breath. Before he can even start the fight again, Raditz knees him in the face and shoots him into the air with a powerful upwards kick. The Emperor is sent hurling and flipping into the air, barely able to keep himself stable. Next, Raditz just follows after him and throws an ambitious kick, but Frieza flips over the attack and swings down with a kick of his own. As Raditz finally falls himself, Frieza lands a knee to Raditz that slams him back down and into the ground. This feat of strength by Raditz takes off Frieza and makes him begin his transformation into his second form. His power level raises to 1 million and he is now much larger than what he once was. Raditz, with power that had just overpowered Frieza seconds prior, is still confident in his new abilities. Raditz powers up as much as he can and reveals his large aura. He even cracks the ground in the process and leaps off towards Frieza. He throws 3 straight attacks and Frieza literally dodges every attack. The way he dodges such blows are also very swift and they seem as if he puts little effort into each movement. Quickly he leaps off the ground and knees Raditz in the face. As he launches back, he whips out his tail and whips Raditz in the stomach with it, actually cracking his armor with the whipping force.
He's literally double Raditz's power now, because he was about just over 1 million, I believe, in this form, if I remember right. And Raditz is half that, like 550k.
Held backwards, Frieza seems to teleport above him from the sheer level of speed, then he punches Raditz in the same area he whipped him in, breaking his armor.
Ouch.
Left flying in the air, Frieza lands a spinning kick to launch Raditz back down into the ground. Goku, seeing that his brother is struggling, decides to tag in and also force Gohan to help. Both warriors power up too, and Tien and Krillin stay by their side since there isn't much they can actually do.
Yeah.
Raditz also gets pumped up and adds onto the Saiyans' manpower to try and defeat Frieza. All 3 warriors advance towards the powerful Emperor and he swiftly dodges past 2 of the Saiyans' attacks. As he evades these hits, he also strikes out with kicks to their chest. As he does this, he is also hit in the back by Gohan, who is the strongest of them all. To continue this attack, Gohan launches a bunch of golden ki blasts and both of the Saiyans start charging up their own attacks. As Frieza is left blinded and not able to see his opponents, all he can do is hear their attacks charging up. Gohan adds to this attack with his very own Masenko and all 3 attacks shoot down towards Frieza. They combine and the combination of attacks is actually incredibly strong. Frieza catches the attack and tries to push it back, but he ends up getting engulfed in the blast, getting heavily injured. Smoke steams off his injured and bleeding body and he has a very annoyed facial expression. You annoying Saiyans always try and foil my plans. Allow me to show you a form no one has ever seen before, Frieza declares, preparing to transform into his next form. We can't let him transform again, Gohan shouts, catching the attention of both of his Saiyan allies. All 3 Saiyans fly down, but Frieza is able to protect himself with some sort of ki shield. Their attacks do little to him and the shield keeps him completely fine on the inside. The shield is plastered tightly across his skin so it kinda just gives him an odd glow. Eventually he finishes the transformation in sighs of relief, breaking away the heavily taxing ki shield. Die! Frieza shouts powerfully, releasing a barrage of death beams into the Saiyans' bodies. These death beams stab through many parts of their body and leave them to fall down from the heights at which they were at, knocking out all of them. In mere minutes, they will all die. Now, who's ready to face me? We need to get them out of there so they aren't killed. I can sense their ki so they are all alive, but their ki signatures are fading fast. Dende, we're gonna need you to heal them, but I'm not sure on how we can face him, Krillin realizes, fearful of the demonically shaped tyrants. I can do it, Tien states calmly, placing his hands in a triangular position. He lets out a calm exhale and starts to charge up his attack. Frieza simply zooms towards them, but then Krillin aids by launching out 2 Destructo Discs. They soar towards the Emperor, but he dodges both attacks with ease, but then gets hit by the Neo Tri-Beam head on. The powerful blast knocks him away, then Krillin manages to fly right past him and head towards the Saiyans. Frieza constantly tries to approach the human, but his attack is just too much to handle. If Semi-Perfect Cell was stronger than the likes of Goku who returned from Yardrat, then that means he was likely much stronger than Tien, even after his training. This means his attack has a battle power far above that of the user, so that's why Tien is able to harm Frieza so much with his attacks. However, Frieza isn't totally frail, so he was able to approach Tien and grab him by the neck. He squeezes and Tien's head starts to redden as he chokes through his thinning windpipes. Suddenly a ki blast lands on his back and Frieza just chuckles as he isn't hurt at all. There stands Vegeta, who seems to be filled with harsh emotions of fear but also rage. Frieza just throws the human to the side and speeds at Vegeta and impales him through the stomach with a punch. Next, he rips his fist out violently, then uses his other hand to launch an energy wave right at his opponent's face. Just this minor energy blast knocks out Vegeta and propels him off his feet from the high force. As the smoke clears, Goku comes out of nowhere then just kicks him in the chest. His Zenkai has amplified his power much further and has actually risen his power level to 14 million. This attack inflicts a lot of damage, then Vegeta is immediately healed by Dende. Raditz has a power level of 16 million and Gohan 19 million. All three warriors give off insane amounts of power and Frieza is lucky he can't sense their imposing key signatures. Vegeta is given a Zenkai and has a power level of 1 million or so. The four Saiyans stand together and the
Now, that's quite the heck of a Zenkai boost right there. I was expecting like a times 10, but dang! Times 30 Zenkai boost? Minimum for most of them? Eesh, I won't lie. Interesting concept. Not sure how it works in canon, but hey, it works here.
The amount of motivation that seems to flow through the air is insane. This is what we have waited for, Saiyans. The day that this demonic tyrant sits below us, defeated. Our time is now, Vegeta shouts, causing all of them to power up to the absolute maximum. The four Saiyans then fly right towards the Emperor and all surround him in the blink of an eye. Frieza is kicked in the back by Gohan, then kneed into the air by Goku, who is ahead of him. As he is flipped into the air, Raditz launches an energy wave towards him and engulfs him in the blast from this attack. Frieza just starts flipping and lands on the ground as he is heavily injured. Seeing there's no opening for him to transform, he tries to talk his way out of it. You Saiyans think you're so strong, let me transform and see how strong you look after. All four Saiyans can tell Frieza is far below them, except for Vegeta of course, but they know they can defeat him. The problem is that Goku has far more Saiyan instincts, so he isn't even that reluctant to let him transform. Even canon Goku might have let him transform since he loves fighting more opponents. All the Saiyans just wait for him to transform and he completes the transformation. Also, Piccolo arrives as he does this. Frieza in his new and sleek form removes a lot of his suppression and raises his suppression to around 30%. This makes his power level 36 million, so he is far above every Saiyan there. Frieza flies forwards extremely fast and kicks Vegeta in the...
Okay, so thankfully, this is where I'm going to have to stop and talk here. So at this point, Frieza and the Saiyans have broken through the normal Frieza Saga levels until you talk about like the Super Saiyan level of like the debatable limit of what Goku was at like 15 million, was he 12 million, was he 13 million? Like, the main thing is that he was below 20 million. And Frieza was maybe at 100% power, maybe 9 to 10 million-ish. Let's see here. 1 million a second form, 2 million, then 4 million base, and 100 power. So yeah, he should have been around 9 million or so. Suddenly he's saying that he's 36 million? And we're going to have to call BS on that one, but hey, it's a fanfiction scaling. It's a different universe. I can accept it. If this was trying to say it's replacing canon, then I'm going to have to do some fighting and a petition.
The stomach with his flat feet. Swiftly he spins and slaps the Saiyan Prince in the face with his tail, almost knocking him out in the process. The rest of the Saiyans then corner the tyrant and try to land some good attacks. Raditz dives down with a slam, but Frieza swivels under the attack and kicks Gohan in the face. Next, he swivels and lands 2 strikes to Goku's body before turning around and kicking Gohan away once again. Raditz swings up with a one-hand energy wave, but Frieza drops swiftly to kick his knee in. Once this happens, Frieza shoots a death beam through the Saiyan's chest. He tries to punch him again, but Raditz is able to block with a single arm, sliding back in the process. Both father and son then try to launch a combined Kamehameha, but Frieza is able to fight back with a double-hand energy wave right back at the Kamehameha. The charging time was quite low and their combined power levels exceed Frieza, so they are able to overpower Frieza in the blast and hit him directly.
Nice.
The blue technique does deal some good damage on Frieza, but due to this, Frieza lifts his suppression and reveals his full 50% power. His power level raises to 60 million and now he is far above the rest of the fighters. Raditz, who is slightly injured by the death beam, gets speed blitzed by Frieza. The tyrant throws a barrage of attacks and just manhandles the other 2 Saiyans with brute force. The Saiyans are left heavily weakened and Vegeta is stunned by what he's seen. We've been defeated once again? No, this can't be true. I cannot let my race or myself fall behind again. I will not be subject to this madman's tyranny any longer, Vegeta thinks to himself, shaking with anger. The ground trembles under his feet and his aura takes effect. His teeth slam together and grit against each other as he clenches his fists so hard that they bleed. Looking up at the Emperor, his eyes flash blue and strike fear into his arch-nemesis. Looking back down, he lets out a powerful scream and hones in on his bubbling range to ascend into the next form. Super Saiyan. His golden hair flashes and shines under the beautiful blue light of the sky, and his aura is gracious to say the least. Frieza's eyes don't move off him or even blink as shock and astoundment keeps him frozen in place. Vegeta, now with his Saiyan instincts enhanced by his new form, flies forward with his new Saiyan form. With his rage boost, his power level is initially above that of even Frieza. I'd say around 70 million, although it fluctuates between 65 million and 75 million because it's totally dependent on his emotions, which aren't stable. Vegeta manages to catch Frieza off guard with a punch to his face. As Frieza is propelled backwards, Vegeta swivels to land a kick to his face once again. In reaction, Frieza swings out for a kick of his own, but the Super Saiyan sidesteps twice to evade this attack, then kicks him in his back. Being knocked forwards, he turns to try and land a cheap shot, but Vegeta launches out a one-hand energy wave that is golden in colour. Frieza gets sent flying backwards and is moderately injured from these attacks, but flies right back at Vegeta and tries to punch him again. He throws a punch that Vegeta blocks and is hit twice by him. Slightly overextending to the Emperor, he is hit in the chin by his foot. Knocking back a step, he is kicked in the stomach, then hit by a large ki blast. Powerfully, the golden-haired Saiyan knocks away the blast with a powerful swipe, much to Frieza's surprise. Energy Blast doesn't even injure Vegeta, and the Saiyan flies right back towards him immediately after this. Continuing battle, Vegeta is clearly the more powerful fighter. As his rage boost depletes, he still stays stronger than Frieza as he continues to get more and more injured. Frieza, now seeing his demise is close, utilizes the Saiyan's ego. Vegeta, do you really want to fight me when I'm as weak as this? How about I give you a better challenge? I will be stronger than you, Frieza. Do as you please, Vegeta states, simply waiting for him to transform. Krillin, watching from the sidelines, immediately sees the problem with the Saiyans. Why do you guys do that? Goku just turns and asks, do what? Piccolo then gets agitated and replies for Krillin. You guys have the power to overpower your foes, but mindlessly let them get stronger for the sake of the battle. I don't believe what Frieza just said is a bluff, as he has just transformed multiple times. Who knows what power he has left? This decision that Vegeta decided to choose could cost the planet of Namek and all of its inhabitants, including us. So that will conclude the third part, or what if Goku was an Elite Saiyan? Tell me something you liked about the video in the comments, or something that would be very appreciated about. And today we are going to be doing the...
Anyway, looks like we're gonna have Gohan become Super Saiyan next, maybe. Anyway, I'm liking this. Like I said, the power range is crazy. Like, it's gone way up super fast, but part of the charm. I just don't mind the superpowered growth jumps, as it were. It's pretty fun in its own right. Anyway, hope you guys are enjoying that. I know I certainly am. I'm loving the anime week. I hope you guys are too. We'll be doing other anime fan films soon, so look forward to those, guys. I believe I have a 7 Deadly Sins one coming up, so keep an eye out for that one. That's going to be fun. In the meantime, you guys take care. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!